So let's give it up for our friend Cheri Perry.
I think I'm on here.
Oh.
Am I on? No. Testing. Oh, I got it. It's pushing. I think so. Is it on? Oh,
You got it.
the power button. I got it. Okay. Okay, so do we have a PowerPoint for this? Oh, we don't. Oh, exciting. So this is called the preview section. Do they have a handout? Okay, good. Open your books. There we go. Let me get a book. Thank you. I have a book too. You should be on page 4. Yes, thank you. Here you go. Yeah, Dan. Thank you. This is so prepared, it's exciting. So page 4. So how many of you have ever done the personal wheel before? Right? Everybody. How many of you have done the personal wheel and thought, oh, I already did that, check that off the list? Anybody? Really? Because I did. I thought I already did it once. What's the big deal, right? Well, the cool thing about the personal wheel assessment is that we get to review our progress. How many of you are like me? You get through a month or a year and you're like, woohoo, I did it, now what else do I need to do? And we don't spend a lot of time reviewing what we got accomplished. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to go through and reassess yourself. And for those of you who have been in the inner circle for any length of time, you're probably going to want to do this at least once a quarter. It's pretty cool how it changes. So go ahead, starting on page 4, and rate yourself on the following pages. Give yourself a score from 1 to 10. If you haven't done the personal wheel before, will you raise your hand? Raise your hand if you haven't done it. Raise it nice and high. And Rick and Michelle and Victoria, let's take a look at the tables where people might need a little help. So, okay, I'll walk around. Can we have music? Music. Yes. Oh.
Let's tell the world our conversation.
Let's do it. If you have any questions or you need some help, let us know. Can we have a little music? That's a good one.
Are we just doing personal or are we doing business too?
We're starting on the personal. That's a good question. So you're just doing the personal wheel for right now. Page 4. If you need help or you have a question, just raise your hand. Some people have their Later's out, doing the math. It's very exciting. I do. I'm a finger girl myself, yep.
Is there a zero?
That. All right, so this is a really great question. If you run into one of the categories and it doesn't apply to you, for example, you're a young man and you haven't found the one. So under spouse relationship, just go ahead and put 0, but when you divide the number, divide it by 9 instead of 10. So if something just does not apply to you, make sure to account for that when you're doing the math.
Unless you got somebody in mind, then just give yourself a 10.
That's awesome. Someone else asked, what is Automobile University? That is the time, the drive time you spend in your vehicle. Sometimes you're rocking out to some great music, and that's really good. But Automobile University is, are you spending those long trips listening to something of value? Yes, phone time does not count as Automobile University unless maybe you're coaching with Rick Jones. That could be Automobile University for sure. Okay, so let's get a little bit of a checkup. How many people are getting pretty close to being done with the personal will? Raise your hand. Okay, we still have a few more minutes. Okay, we should sort of be winding down. We have a lot of time. That's good. Time's on our side. That happens all the time as a small business owner, right? No rush. This is really fun to do with your staff too. One of the things we love to do at TMC is make sure that we know where our team is on this wheel. Very important. All right, how many people feel like they are about done with the personal wheel? Can you raise your hand? Raise them up high. Okay, so keep going if you're not done, but I just have a quick question for everybody. Did anybody find maybe just one area where you might like to improve something? If that's you, raise your hand. Oh, look it's everyone. That's good news. So I would like to get at least 3 or 4 people to share one thing they would like to change and why. Do you want, oh, okay. Are you going to handle the microphone? Yeah. Okay, so if you would like to share one thing you want to change and why, would you just go ahead and stand, and Rick Jones will find you. No one wants to share? Okay,
Here we
good.
go. First volunteer, the rest will follow.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maggie. So the most important for me is to work on my finances. I'm not the best at it, and it's so uncomfortable to speak in front of everybody and be vulnerable and say it. But that's the truth. I do not control it whatsoever. I find excuses. I'm so busy. I'm working on my business. I'm working on my growth. I'm reading books. I'm all over the freaking place. So organize my life. Oh, yeah, big time. And finances is the thing that stresses me out. And I'm actually running away from it because it's stressful. And I always put it later. But this year, January 1st, I decided I'm going to take it under control. I'll ask people to support me, help me, explain me things that I don't get. And yeah, within the next 2-3 months, I want to have at least knowledge of what I've done wrong and how can I fix my issues and start saving seriously, putting money into my business, invest. Why am I shaking? Anyways, yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Oh, no, let her keep the microphone for a second, though, because I have a couple questions. So first of all, a big round of applause for standing up.
Thank you.
So you do the thing that you're afraid of, and the death of fear is certain, right? So you're already killing that part of it. So my question is, why do you want to do that? Because the why is what's going to make the journey a little bit more tolerable.
Yes, well, in my journey of learning the business and growth and everything, I'm realizing that a lot of things that we're dealing with, they can give you peace of mind. And also, I truly believe in growth, self-growth, financial growth, business growth. So in order to grow and get something where you really, truly want to be, it's not only to have a vision, but I get to take steps in order to get there. So it's time spending alone, sitting down, figuring out what's the issue, what's the problem, and then ask for support. I want to have a peace of mind, and I want to be huge and big financially, business-wise, as a human being, spiritually, and it all needs to come together. So, yeah.
Okay, so one more question before I have you sit down, and it might take a second to get this, but this is really, really important.
Okay.
So now you've done it.
What do you mean?
You've fixed the financial problem. Just think about that for a second.
Yes.
Just like, hold on a second. Just like, hey, wait a minute. I got this. In the last few months, I've done everything I needed to do. I put all those plans together that you talked about.
Yes.
What is that day like for you? What does it feel like?
It feels freeing. Like I feel free. I feel lighter, I feel good, and I feel proud of myself as human being in control of, and I'm not speaking of that type of control. It's like, I made a decision, I declared to myself, nobody else, I said, I am fixing this, I'm in control, because I want to do it for myself, and then hopefully I can, bring other people on board, and they can see me as an example. Like, wow, she did it. And I'm standing in front of you being vulnerable. I'm like, yeah, she did it, so why can't I not do it,
That's so great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job.
Can anybody relate to the financial struggle? Raise your hand. Yeah, you're not alone. So when you do it, you're not just doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for all those other people, like you said. Thank you so much for sharing. Who's next?
Right here. Then I think she stepped out of her comfort zone with class.
She did.
All right, yes. Okay.
My name's Mike. I'm from Akron, Ohio. And I used to be the perfect physical specimen. Now I'm just a specimen. And that's what I found out from doing this, is I look across, as I got a lot of 7s and 8s and everything, but in the physical side, the lowest thing I have on this page was stress. I got a 3. And my stress levels are through the roof. And I realized that that can't continue. I don't sleep much either. And I think those two are closely tied together. I don't know if anybody else here is in that same boat, but you lay down, you're dead tired, you've been working your tail off all day long, and what happens? You try to go to sleep, and your mind's running. Oh my God, I got this truck that's got this problem, I've got these employees, I got this, I got that, and your mind's just racing and racing and racing. And that's what I found out this showed me, which is kind of surprising because my highest ratings was in the spiritual level. And I know the cliche, let go and let God, and trust and all that. I truly believe all of that until I lay down to go to sleep, and then I start thinking about everything I need to do, and that's what runs through my head constantly.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. In Tom's book, Choose to Win, there's a chapter in there that talks about the importance of sleep and some good tips on how to, it may benefit. It's a great book, too, by the way.
We're going to go over here to the senior table, except for Karen, all right?
What did you say? I resemble that remark. Greg Boss, I'm here with my lovely wife and Glenn, our team, and we are, my career, you get focused on your career, and you think about your physical and your personal, and you don't get that time to go out and exercise, and sometimes you're running so hard, you're not eating the right things, and so my lowest score is basically physical. And I know at this age I need to be working on, getting stronger and stuff. But, my highest is our financials because of a lovely wife and having a laser focus motivation goal. We were able to, get that free. And that was just such a load of having a load off our hearts because, we both had a lot of debt. I had more than her, but we got married. But we used a financial principle and just started plugging away and just, got out of debt. So this wheel changes constantly. My goal is to be better physically and family, to grow that and be higher numbers. But yeah, doing it every 3 months, that wheel changes, and it's a really fantastic way of looking at your life through the wheel.
Awesome. Greg, before you give the mic back to Rick, so how will fixing the physical thing that you're talking about affect any of those other areas?
The physical will mean that I can be around longer, stay healthier, have more energy to be out, helping other people, raise them up to get the dreams and goals that they want. So if I can stay healthy myself, my life is to serve other people and to help them reach up and help them get to their dreams and goals so we can get our dreams and goals.
Yeah. Awesome. Good job. How cool is
Thank you,
that?
Craig.
How cool is that? So Maggie is working on one goal, And Greg is working on a different goal. That's the power of being in the inner circle and being around a group of people. We're all weak and strong in different areas, so we can really help each other. Maggie, you might want to chat with Greg and find out, hey, dude, what'd you do to get, debt-free? That's pretty cool. Who's next?
Yeah, think about that. When you're evaluating there, you notice he said he changed it. That's the beauty. If we focus on what we're here for, we can change that circle. Everybody in this room can change it, go to the next one. That's that steady progress that all of us want to be able to make. Somebody else?
Yep, we're right over here. If I had glasses on, I could see his name.
Well, this is my first time to ever do this personal exam, and it's pretty powerful. I'm doing okay on the physical. I'm not overweight or anything like that. And spiritual, I'm pretty good, and the mental, I'm okay. And we get down to the family, man, it kind of hit me in the gut. I don't have any debt. I'm okay there, and my personal seems to be okay. And my career, I absolutely love what I do, and I don't have any issues there. I know what I want to do. I've known that since I was 15 years old. But what's the point if your family suffers? I got a 3.4 on my family and an 8.9 on my career. So, it's out of balance. That can't be. That ought not be so. I got to change that. I got a 6-year-old son, and a 2-year-old daughter, and a beautiful wife, and they suffer at my expense. So, thank you.
Wow.
Think about one thing that you could do to change that picture.
Slow down and spend a little more time with them. I graded myself okay on the spiritual, but obviously the spiritual came before family, and if the family had to come before spiritual, the spiritual wouldn't have been so good, because those two things go hand in hand. If you're right with God and you're walking with God like you should be, you have a daily relationship, and I do try to have a daily relationship with my Savior. But if you have a true daily relationship, your family life is going to be better, because that's going to be reflected in your home.
So you're going to
increase my spiritual life.
give him a big hand. Got time for about one, maybe two more.
Yep. I just want to thank you for that transparency, because
Yes.
how many of you also struggle with the work-life balance? Raise your hand. Yeah, that's that's a lot. I grew up in a family-based business, and I can tell you, as the oldest of 5 kids, we sort of knew our dad, but only if we were at the shop. Only if we were with him doing what he was doing. And that was a big price to pay. So I'm excited for your 6-year-old. That's very cool. Go ahead.
I'll agree with all that. My lowest score, and the thing that I want the most, is family meals together. I don't think, you got any Blue Blood fans here? I want their Sunday dinner. And that's going to be my goal, is to keep trying at that. We've tried, swung it a couple of times, but we've missed. It's also going to be my biggest challenge with all of our busy schedules. That's what I'm shooting for.
Why is the family dinner so important to you?
Well, one, I failed to teach my boys that, because I was working late, and where we lived and where I worked just didn't work for dinner. And I also want to teach my granddaughters that. And the biggest benefit that I see in hindsight is if your kids are, they're having stress at school or their activities, it's a great opportunity for them to share at the dinner table. And get that off their chest.
That's wonderful.
Versus thinking about it and rambling to, who knows what.
Thank you, Jim. Hey, before we give him a round of applause, because we will, has anyone else struggled with this area, making time for family dinner? If you've struggled with the area and you've figured out a way to overcome it, will you raise your hand? Okay, raise your hand high so he can see you. Jim, check them out. Check out the hands, right? And now you can find somebody to go, hey, what'd you do? How'd you fix that? Very important. One more or next?
One more.
One more. One more.
Right here in front of
Oh, let's clap for Jim. Okay, thank you.
This is the better half of the less half.
My lowest actually was in mental. Mel listens to a lot of Jim Rohn tapes when he's in the car, and I just kind of turned that off in my head. But we had last fall, lightning hit our TV and burned it out, and we have not replaced it yet. And so it's like, this would be a perfect opportunity for me to, read more and do that kind of stuff. I have downloaded a lot of books on my Kindle and haven't read them yet. So I just need to make time to do that. And to really, I think if we discuss the things that we're reading, that will impact it a lot more.
That's awesome. Thank you. I don't know. Your TV gets struck by lightning. A sign? Maybe. I don't know. That's awesome. That's just great. You could almost write a book about that. How my life changed right after the TV got struck by lightning. All right. Let's go to the next page. Now we're going to look at the business wheel. I love the fact that Howard did the personal wheel first and then the business wheel, because if you've grown up in a family-based business, that wasn't always the order of things. So I love the fact that the inner circle is about finding that balance if you can. So on page 5, you have a business wheel, and I'd like you to spend the next few minutes going ahead and answering those questions. Now, if you have questions on specific things and you don't know what they are, please raise your hand, because probably someone else in the room has the same question. So feel free to go through, and can we get a little bit of music? Okay. So while you're doing that, I'm going to let me walk you through each one of these just to make sure that you guys know. So marketing is everything you do in your business to attract prospects. If you guys want to fill in the blanks, there's a couple of blanks there. A phenomenal marketing delivers a meaningful experience that engages, educates, and entertains. That's your marketing. Sales is the next one. So nothing happens in a business until a sale is made. It's sort of important to move some stuff. Healthy sales cure all other business evils. Selling is something that you do for and with someone. Mr. Ziglar used to say selling is something you do for someone, not to someone, which is very true. Selling is a transference of feelings. Sales is everything you do to convert prospects into clients. Number 3 is operations, so you're just going to fill in the blanks. Operations is everything you do to serve your clients. A phenomenal operations delivers a meaningful experience. A phenomenal operations system is a group of working parts that duplicates results consistently. The next one is leadership. Phenomenal leadership delivers a meaningful experience that inspires the team to implement. A phenomenal leadership system is a group of working parts that duplicates results consistently. And then your last one on page 6 is administration is everything you do to track your numbers. Phenomenal administration delivers. It delivers, right? Phenomenal administration delivers vital information that gives you the proper feedback on your progress. A phenomenal administration system is a group of working parts that duplicates results consistently. And these are some of the really, really important statements. A business without a profit is just a hobby. It's an expensive hobby. Healthy profits cure all other business evils. And healthy profits can make a difference in the world. So that gives you a little bit better understanding of what all 5 of the systems are. Again, if you walk through any of those and you have questions, just raise your hand and we'll come around. If we can get some music now, that'd be awesome. 5 and 6. That's what I say. Hey, if you missed any of the blanks because somebody was being Speedy Gonzalez at the mic, just let me know. I'm happy to help fill in the blanks. Thank you for that. I love this song for this. Every day's a winding road. Oh, it's not the right song, but it's still good. Marketing is everything you do. Nothing. Oh, let me turn that. Any questions on any of the line items in any of the categories, just raise your hand and we're happy to come around and help. All right, how's everybody doing? Let's get a show of hands. How many of you are pretty close to being done on your business wheel? Raise your hand. Okay, still a little bit more time.
Something you said that pointed out.
Okay, all right, it sounds like we have people that are done. If you're done with your business wheel, raise your hand. Raise your hand high. Okay, first question. How many of you are looking at a different wheel than the wheel you first looked at when you came in the inner circle? Raise your hand. Raise your hand high. Okay, so Rick, there's going to be a chance at the end to do a quick testimonial. If you want to do a quick testimonial for Rick, will you raise your hand? Raise your hand. So Greg, who else? We need probably 2 or 3 more. Okay, Don.
Don. All right.
Okay.
Dominique.
Dominique, okay.
Don, Dominique. All right.
You want to do 3? Is that good?
We can go one more. Who'd like to be up on stage, get your picture taken? Trip to Hawaii?
Oh, okay, there it is.
Ah, there we go. All right.
Rick has some miles we didn't know about. All right, so let's look at the business wheel assessment. The first question, or the second question now that I have for you is, just look at your own wheel. What is the one area on your wheel where you feel it would change the most things in your business? Just look at it. Because don't you know that it's really, really easy to get inundated with things that have to be done in every single spoke? So Howard teaches that there's 2 really great places to look for improvement and look for places to find your your 4 major projects. Number 1, your biggest pain point. So as I was walking around, some people were like, oh my gosh, I suck at marketing. And I was like, hey, me too, got the t-shirt. So if marketing is your weakest area, that may be a good place to focus on your top 4 projects. The other area that's really, really important to look at is your biggest area for opportunity. And sometimes we're so focused in what's not going on, we don't see what is going on. So you really have to peel that back and look and say, hey, wait a minute, what are we really good at? Where's our biggest area for opportunity? So around the table, you're going to do that part. I'm just going right into your area. Right on. Okay, well, Rick, why don't you go?
Well, let's hear some answers about what they checked was number 1 on the business wheel. All right? In other words, when you look at that business wheel, what's one area that stands out? Which one's going to make the biggest impact when you show improvement in it? It's going to really maybe rock your business. That one area that if you could really build and strengthen and accomplish what you want to. Check it off, and we want to have some folks come up and share what that is. I'm going to ask for 4 volunteers real quick, but go ahead and I want to give you about 30 seconds to decide that one area. We're looking at 220. How was 219? Where do we need to improve? Where do we really need to have an impact to rock our business this year, to really accomplish the goals that's important to us? Is it administration? Is it operations? Is it sales? Is it marketing? Or is it leadership? And if you've got that one area picked out, I'd like you to just raise your hand where we can have a couple of you share real quick. Who's going to volunteer? All right, please come on up here for us real quick. Come on up here real quick, please. Need 2 more? All right, let's go right here. There we go. Now we need 1 more. Hey, over here. Come on, Ron. All right. All right, there we go. Okay, Michael, why don't you come on up here? And if y'all will line up over there, Ron, with him. There you go, buddy. All right. All right, you got it, Ron.
Thank you.
And tell us the one you picked and why you picked it.
So the one that stood out to us was in the phenomenal leadership systems, the written performance results description for every position. Like, we have numbers and we have stuff that we can track, but we don't have stuff like scorecards, for example, ways for employees to self-look back on themselves and think, is there ways that we can improve? Like, is there areas that I personally want to track myself to see an improvement? I've seen it used at other companies before, and it just isn't something that we've implemented at our company. And that's going to be like number 1 on my list when I go back. Everybody has always areas and ways to grow, and especially with employees. You get the employees that want to improve all the time. Sorry. You get those employees that want to improve all the time. You get those that aren't as motivated to show that. Maybe something like this might help to encourage them, even if just in 1 or 2 areas. Myself, for example, it's that work-life balance. Maybe that's something I put on a scorecard. Another employee might have communication and just helping to get a gradual improvement.
Good. Now, one more question. If you could really strengthen that area, make a big impact, what's that going to mean to you and to your business?
I think it's going to create more of a transparency between employers and employees, especially if you've got a particular employee that you think is not great at communication, for example. Challenge them themselves to review it themselves, because sometimes you could tell someone to do it 5 or 6 times, but maybe if you get them to take it from their perspective, they might see it at a different angle and you might get a different result.
Great. Let's show him some appreciation. Great. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Tell Tim I said hello. Yeah, hold your mic up, Scott.
Okay. I just realized I've been kind of flying by the seat of my pants here for the last 10 years with the company, but administrative is probably where our biggest weakness is. We run on QuickBooks, we have all the tools and the applications, but we get consumed with the day-to-day business all the time. And sure, I track sales, I see where we're at. As long as I got money in the bank account, can pay payroll, we're happy. But that was one of the things that, Howard told me when we met. He's like, how much is your receivables? About 150,000. He goes, what do you think that would make for your company? I go, I'd be able to pay off every loan that I have. And he goes, focus on it. Trying to get into the office to focus on that is really tough. We run our waterway restoration business, so I'm out in the field with my men all the time. On top of it, we just laid off, or actually got rid of 4 of the bad apples, got rid of them, so we're now down to a 5-man crew, including myself. So I think I have the same struggles that you guys have all the time, but I realize that administrative will actually help the financial, which will also help the systems, which will also help everything else. So that's where I'm at.
Give him a hand. Wonderful. All right. Thank you. Get your cowboy jacket on there, David.
All right. Our wheel has actually gotten pretty round except for our marketing. We have a flat tire there. I think what we need to work on is the referral program. We do not have a referral program at all for our customers, and a reward system on top of that. I think that's just where we're lacking. I mean, everything else since we joined 777 and with EOS, it's really made our wheel round. I mean, it's really been helping, and I recommend it to. I even recommend to my competition to join this because it's gonna help everybody. So, well, that's where we're at. Marketing is flat, so we're gonna work on that.
If we get a good, solid marketing program together, how's that going to impact you in the business?
Well, it's going to impact the business because we can reduce our marketing funds. How it's going to impact? Well, it's going to make everything easier. It's going to help. It's going to help the business grow.
Sounds like the one thing, right?
It's the one thing. Yes.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it, David. Good to see you. All right, Ron. Sell some furniture.
That's right. That's right. Our my weak area was leadership. Both personally, I need to take command of the ship, and then that will produce the culture amongst our employees that will better serve our customers. It'll also position us more in the marketplace as the go-to place, because now our employees are more engaged. I also have to really implement the team meetings and more individual one-on-one coaching that I can do. So starts with me, leadership, setting the vision, who we are, taking command of the ship.
So if you improve your leadership, how's that going to impact you and your business?
The employees will be way more engaged and cheerful and excited about serving our customers.
What's the first thing you can do to start making that happen?
Meet with them on a regular basis.
Good. Give him a big hand. Sometimes people say, well, what can I do to start being a better leader? Look to the employee on your left, the employee on the right, the one in front of you, the one behind you, and just say, how can I help you? That's a big start right there. Give him another hand. Thanks, Ron. All right. You want to do the testimonials now?
Sure.
I think we're about 15 minutes. We'd like several of you to come up and share in terms of what being in the inner circle has meant to you, what you've been able to accomplish this year. And we need about 4 volunteers, and we need them fairly quick, all right? So we can get them all in. Who would like to do that?
So we had 3 or 4 volunteers. So yeah, Greg, and go ahead and take your name tag off.
Yeah, we want to get you on camera without the tag. All
Yeah.
right. Somebody else, 3 more. Now I know
Awesome.
you got to step out of your comfort zone a little bit to come up here, but that's called a growth step, right? So who'd like to do that? Let's go over here.
I'll do it. I don't even know what you're asking. I'll do it.
Uh-oh.
The secret to inner circle success. Just do it, whatever it is.
We're going to ask you to break down all the systems one by one and tell us. All right, Greg, you go first, buddy.
Which banner you want me to
Yeah, just whatever you want to say about what the inner circle's meant to you, what you've done, how it's helped your business and helped you. All right. Andy, you ready?
And roll. All right. Well, we got introduced to the inner circle right in the beginning of June. Got a little email out about being part of Ziglar. Come down to Ziglar. So I went down to the Ziglar program, and just a great experience. And I like, man, this is where we're going. We had some coaching that's helped us get to this level, but I have big visions, and with the help of Glenn, we are changing the world of chimney sweeps in St. Louis. And so the system basically what it taught us was how to use our numbers. Ellen, I was looking for Ellen to get our numbers right and understand our numbers. And Ellen goes, well, I'm no longer doing this. I'm with the inner circle. So I'm like, we got to be part of it. We got to be part of this business. But when you get around other business owners that are going through the same struggles in other areas, but we're all in service. What are we all out here to do? We're all out here to get our dreams and goals. And we have a vehicle we're using. And that wheel has a flat tire, like we just did. We can't get there as fast as we want to get. But on the shoulders of giants who already been through the minefield, like the inner circle is, we are learning how to get there faster and not blow ourselves up all the time. And then when we do have an explosion or something go on, we have great minds all around here. I'm looking at people that I've learned so much from already, that aren't coaches, just regular guys have helped us out and helped us get better. So what has it done for us? We are going to double our business basically within 1 year of being being involved with Inner Circle. So I'm really appreciative of Howard, Cheri, Rick, you guys, Santiago. You guys are all making a difference in our life, and Ellen, of course, getting our numbers and having real numbers.
Great job, Greg. Great job.
Melissa again with Joy Carpet Dry Cleaning. Well, for us, it's been very impactful because we're owner-operators. We have no employees. And working alongside your husband and he working alongside his wife every day, it is challenging because you lose discipline, you lose the consistency, you have nobody to meet with, to share goals except each other. And coming from a corporate banking background, I was used to the structure of meeting with your boss every week, meeting with your sales team, generating sales. But if I'm the only, I'm the salesperson in the company. So, who am I going to meet with myself? But my husband has been very instrumental because he's gained the discipline as well and the consistency being in Inner Circle. We're now meeting with a group of like-minded business owners who have the same challenges. And there's some carpet cleaning companies that we've had the privilege of speaking to in there. We've made great friends. And it's just nice to know that we all have the same challenges and we can all share openly and candidly and transparent. So being an Inner Circle for us has really just set the foundation for success. Understanding what we need to do to have the right foundation for the right employees, to be a market leader in what we do, get more direction, make more decisions that are impactful. And so Inner Circle has just been very instrumental, especially because it's a faith-based community of business owners as well. So that was very important to us spiritually and to interact and fellowship with other like-minded business owners. So thank you so much, Howard and Santiago and Aliki. Just a phenomenal team all the way around.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name's Eric Sprague. I have been in the Inner Circle on and off for probably almost 10 years, I guess. And I've talked up here about my business quite a bit, and it went great. It was very helpful. But actually, the Inner Circle did more for me personally than the business. Everybody always wants to talk about the business, but the reality was, I can relate to this gentleman over here that was saying that his family score was very low. I was an absolute workaholic. I worked 90, 100 hours a week, completely neglected my kids, my wife, because I was doing something good for them, quote unquote. And coming here and doing the Wheel of Life and all the lessons we learned here, I changed my family life around a lot. And the reality was my business got better because I was now happier. And I never would have done that if I hadn't have come here. You know, I was exposed to John Maxwell, Dr. Robert Rome, Thomas Blackwell. We actually saw him last time. Our family does a once a week Thomas's book now, where we all talk about being positive. So I think we all like to talk about the business, but the business is us. And if we're not in a good place, we're not going to be good business people. So that's what it's done for me more than anything. It's made my life more well-rounded.
Thank you. You notice on that wheel, when some of those areas get out of balance, that tire doesn't roll very well, does it? And when things are not right in the family part, the home part, that really impacts our business a lot. So great, thank you so much for that. All right, let's go.
Hi, my name's Mike White. I'm president of Veterans Carpet and Tile Cleaning. And he asked me what the Inner Circle has done for us. Well, I was a national sales manager. I was always a top salesperson everywhere I've gone in my life. So I thought starting a business would be no problem. I can sell anything to anyone. But what I found out was once we started this company was I didn't know anything about running a business. Even though I'd been sold hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, but I knew nothing about running a business. And when we did the assessment, as I looked through there and saw our check marks and being honest and seeing how many 2s and 3s and 1s that we had on there, I looked into the eye of the enemy, and it was I. And I realized I'm the biggest problem in this business. So I've been in this inner circle for a little less than a year, and what I've been able to find out is how much help you really need. You know, if you haven't already done it successfully, you can't do it on your own. Having a coach is instrumental. Santiago has helped me in so many ways when we have our conference calls between the two of us. And who knows what's liable to come up. He always has his agenda, and then I always change it because we've got some fire. And I found out, I guess I'm kind of a fireman, you know, putting out fires all over the place. But the importance of having a structure, of having somebody that can keep you on track, I don't know how you even put a price on something like that. Because without it, you're lost. And I heard somebody else say that, I believe it was Scott, that he said he's been running this business by the seat of his pants, and that's kind of how I've done it. Just go out and get more business, and then you don't know where it's coming from, where it's going, what's happening. And everything that they teach here has really helped me to focus to see what are the weak areas, where do we need to improve. And because if you don't know what you need to do, you're really lost. And they've done a tremendous amount of help with our organization to find out how bad I really was. So at least now we have a direction.
You got it.
Thanks.
Give him a big hand. All right, thank you. Very good. Appreciate it, buddy. We're going to have one more. You know, the one thing about that wheel, just say, you know what, I'm going to become a change agent. I'm going to change the way this wheel rolls. And you find out what we need to do. What do you want? Why do you want it? The big question is, how bad do you want it? Right? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Rick. So I heard this saying once that if you're the smartest person in a room, you're in the wrong room. So here I am. Okay. So I'm along very successful business people. You guys are in business for years, 1, 2, 3. I've been in this business for a long time, but I've been in this business working for it. I was slaving for my business. Now I'm learning how to actually be a leader, not only a boss, but also a leader. So now I want to direct this message to people who's starting, not to be afraid to be uncomfortable surrounded by people like-minded, not to be afraid to ask for support. And this is what Inner Circle is giving me, the support, the confidence of that I have a person or people to reach out to. And just about what we've done a couple minutes ago, I had no idea what all these things meant, like literally a couple months ago. And now this is my roadmap. Oh, marketing or exceeding my sales goals through effective lead generation and promotions. What the hell does that mean? Guess what? Now if I don't know, at least I have an idea, but I can go back to this and say, oh, so this is what I'm missing in my business. How do I work on it? Ask people around. If not, ask Santiago or Aliki. And a couple weeks ago, I kind of disconnected from the entire group because I was busy with other million shit that I was doing. I'm so sorry I said that. With other stuff. Cut it off. Out. But actually, I got a personal call from Aliki, which I really, really want to thank you for that, Aliki. And she asked, like, what's going on? Why you haven't been on? And that support from a team that backs me up was something really extraordinary. And I got back. And for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks that we have been working, and I've been very active, I've done more implementing what I learned than I've done last 2, 3 months. So I'm extremely, extremely grateful. And for those people who are starting, don't be afraid to ask. They're here to help you. Call the office, send an email, and guess what? You're going to get the email back with every single template, answer to the question you have that you actually need. Straightforward. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Rick.
You stepped out of that comfort zone a little bit.
Oh, again.
Yes, good. Well, I tell you what, we're going to have to face 2020. I don't know about you. We've heard some good stuff. We've heard some real challenges. I need to be inspired. Does anybody here need to be inspired a little bit more? So I'm going to let Cheri handle that because she wants to build a little more enthusiasm. She's kind of shy herself a little bit, you know. So why don't you... You love microphones, don't you?
They're not bad.
Anyhow, let's welcome back up Cheri Perry, everybody.
Awesome. Oh, here. So thank you, Rick. Am I on? Good. So it's a lot of work building a business. And when we signed up to do it, for me 23 years ago, maybe for you longer, shorter, it sounded like a good gig, right? Be your own boss. Be in charge. I mean, just the thought of it. I'm the boss. It's awesome, right? And then we realize, yes, Mr. Boss, it is. Then we realize that it is awesome, but it's an awesome responsibility because there's lots of people in your organization that are counting on you to do the work that you've just identified in the room. Because it's not just about us as business owners, it's about everybody that we affect, right? So the inner circle is about support, encouragement, and accountability. So look at the stuff you did today. Make sure that the time you invested this morning, identifying the areas on your wheel, whether it's personal or business, that you walk out of here with some really good action steps. Because you can totally make a difference. And I'm so thrilled and thankful to have several members of my team here. Because I look out there and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we got leaders coming up in our own business. And it's awe-inspiring to have that happen. So thank you guys for doing what you have to do to make the decisions you have to make the growth happen in your business. Stay plugged into the community, just like Maggie said. Super, super important. If you feel like you want to unplug, guess what? That's the time to really plug in. If you've messed it up and gotten off track, that's the time to plug back in. So it's a cool family. Look around. There's answers in this room for whatever challenge we have. We're pretty blessed, so thank you.